How are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Was it an easy decision to follow Coach Brooks?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, these past 4 years he's done unimaginable things for me in my development. So one more year with him was cherry on the top.
Were you surprised? What was your reaction when you knew he was going to Kentucky?
I know that he loved Virginia Tech, and that what we did there was monumental. Final Four championships that have never been reached before. But I think just seeing him, he really deserved the SEC glory. It's better for recruiting, the facilities and the competition and just the general, help that they give for women's sports seems to be a lot more. And I think from my experience at being at Kentucky for the past 5 months, the facilities and it's just different. I don't know how else to put it. It's just different. And I think, at a point where women's basketball is at its pinnacle, why not take that jump and build off of that? The bus is moving, you got to hop on it.
How would you describe Big Blue Madness?
Big Blue Madness, that was unreal. They tried to get us ready for it. I had no idea what it was going to be like. I was kind of underplaying it. They were like, yeah, this many people are going to be there. I'm like, yeah, I've played in front of that, but it was different, to have all those people on your side and just a sea of blue. And I think, it was big for Kentucky men and women's basketball because it was kind of like a conjoined event. And I think that was monumental because it's kind of been separate in the past. So I think people were happy with that, but it was a great experience.
How much of an advantage is it? Coach said you guys must have the oldest backcourt in the country.
Yeah, I mean, we are old, but we're not washed. We have a lot of experience, and I think, when it comes to being, at the backcourt, you need experience. And I think Deja brings that aggression, and she's learning the system. I'm lucky because I came with him, but I played in that system for 4 years. She's so smart that she's picking it up really quick, so it is a huge advantage.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He's talked about you being his quarterback. What is that like? And football comparison is leading the team. What is that like?
Yeah, I mean, thank God I know what a quarterback is. Otherwise, I'd be really confused. But no, it's a huge compliment, and I take such pride in trying to know him inside out and knowing what he wants because moving to a new school and bringing new players, you have so much to learn. It's different. You don't have 3, 4, 5 girls that return that you're learning everybody and everyone's learning you. So I think me doing my job, it helps him, it helps everyone else, and I'm confident that I have that knowledge that I can help spread it. Yeah.
Would you like a translator of kind of the messaging from him to you, kind of being the middle ground between him and the players?
Yeah, I think that more so happens in game. When we talk during free throws, that's kind of the messages he's telling me. But in practice, he doesn't even have to tell me to tell them. It's kind of just I've seen that just as much as anyone else has. And once again, he's just put that confidence in me that I can speak up and I can help.
Historic Memorial Coliseum, what's that been like? Getting practices rolling and just kind of just the renovation of this new brand of Kentucky basketball.
It's really pretty and everything is so new. We had a few practices and the rooms are so new that it's so stiff and it's crazy. But new nets, it's just a new feeling, and I think it's significant because it's a new era. Everything's new. I think it's a pretty cool little metaphor.
Georgia, what's been the biggest adjustment coming from a place like Virginia Tech? Obviously, lots of success there, but then coming into the SEC, another talented conference.
Right. I mean, I will see when we get to games and stuff like that. But in my decision making, I had played against SEC teams while I was at my previous school, and that competition that they were just always fun and exciting. And I think looking into what I want to achieve in my future, the ones in the SEC stick in the league. So I think you have to play against that talent, and I think it's perfect because I get an experience early. I've experienced change. I've experienced playing with new people. I'm going to experience better competition in terms of athleticism and all of those types of things. So I think getting a little taste of it this year, my 5th year, can kind of help take the shock factor away next year. So yeah, that was the best part of it.
When you look at the state of women's college basketball, how would you describe it, and then also what excites you the most about it?
Yeah, I think being in college for the past 4 or 5 years, it's been incremental, but I think, it really took off my junior year when we went to the Final Four, and obviously all the media attention around that, and ever since then it's not slowing down, and it'd be stupid to slow down. We're at a point now where all the attention, finances, everything is getting poured into it, but the best thing is that the game is backing it up. You have players now that are big time names. Women's basketball has evolved, period. So I think, we're meeting the agenda.
Coach talked about the team size last week and just how big and versatile the lineups can be. Just how different is that going to be for you this year, potentially playing two bigs, and you kind of an adjustment for you for sure.
It's crazy. First of all, it's crazy because I'm out there and I'm like this. Talking up to people, but I think just to have that size and length is going to be an advantage, especially in a league like this. Like you need or you can get, right? But it's good because we can throw out different lineups. Like maybe we rock with the big lineup, maybe we keep two bigs out there. Like you don't know, and it's all about scouting, and especially the systems that we run with the screenings, the handoffs, the drive, the kicks. How are you going to switch? Mismatches. It creates more mismatches. So I'm excited to see how that plays out.
How do you handle it mentally when coach says he doesn't know if the team will be as good as it'll be right now, moving on to the end of the season, but you knew how good you would be coming from Virginia Tech? How do you handle not knowing exactly how good you will?
I think that's every year. You're never going to hit your full strides to your, conference, if not midway through conference. I think we've seen a lot of teams turn it around, and it's just trial and error, playing teams, getting used to it, creating the chemistry, especially being a new team. You have to create chemistry. That only happens through adversity. That only happens through good games, bad games. We've not even played a game yet. So I think, we don't take it as an insult because we're not going to be as good as what we'll even be in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, So it's just a steady growth, and we're going to be ready to take on anything that comes our way.
Have you found yourself taking a bit of leadership role right here in the beginning, coming in and having familiarity with the coach?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's monumental. I think it goes without saying I have to be a leader. It's not necessarily something that was forced upon me. I had to step into it. I know him inside out. I know the assistant coaches inside out. I know the plays inside out. I would be doing them a disservice if I wasn't being a leader.
How much does that help, having Final Four experience and kind of relaying that message and saying, hey, I know what greatness looks like at this level, here's how you do it?
Yeah, it's huge because it's experience, and you might not be able to tell them exactly what's going to happen in game, but it's how you go about things, the level of attention you have to the on-court things, like little things like those is what you take away from the Final Four. Like, the crowds and stuff is great, but what you learn from it, in terms of operations and chemistry that's the biggest takeaway.
Knowing what it takes to go on a run and the pieces that it takes to go on a run, do you feel that this team has those pieces?
We do have the pieces. We have a lot of energy this year, a lot of loud people, a lot of extroverts, people that are just willing to get stuff done. You have girls that came from programs where they may not have played, they played at a lower level, like they're all coming up and they want something out of this. So I think just to have that desire, you can do a lot of things with that.
With so many pieces coming together, how do you think they are, just one person or two people coming from Coach Brooks at Virginia Tech, just how do you think the kind of cohesion is coming along?
Yeah, it's going for sure. It's never going to be perfect, and I think we've had to place emphasis on we have to be together. But even if we stayed at our previous school, we still would have bought a new transfer. So it's like we were going to lose some, we were going to gain some. It is what it is. We're just in a different color. But yeah, chemistry is so important. So it's definitely more of a mental forefront focus. Yeah.
Statistically, you've improved each year throughout college. Coming into a new program, obviously you have WBB aspirations. What's some of the things that you're looking to gain personally to improve your life?
Yeah, obviously the question that everyone asks is the defense side, and I think I can play defense. It's just a matter of trying to stay on the court. Obviously, what's required from me is 40 minutes of direction and point guard play, and I think if I'm not out there, once again it's a disservice, so I have to be careful with that. But bringing in guys like Dej, it probably gives me a little bit more freedom to show what I can do on that side of things. But I think the biggest thing for me, and it'll be just the mental side of it, the little things that can separate me from my my size. And even going into next year, I'm going to have to be able to make reads at quicker paces, quicker speeds. So I think just the mental side of it is what I'm going to take away.
Who isn't getting talked about enough on the team right now?
On the team right now, I think, we say Clara Strack, and people are like, yeah, she's coming up, but no, she's been killing it in practice. Her growth has been exponential, and I have a soft spot in my heart for Tiana Key. She's an incredible athlete, and we're asking things of her that have never been asked from her before. Everyone, really, you think about it, like we got a team of people that were kind of talked about, but now you put them on the stage out there to show for everyone. I think it's a great opportunity for them to take that and run with it.
Hi, Georgia.
Hey.
A few weeks out now from the start of the season, where would you still like to see the team improve before you get into gameplay?
Always can improve in chemistry and energy, and I think a lot of it probably has to do with the uncertainty of what's about to come. but definitely embracing that. And you know, I can't be too picky because we're only going to get experience through playing with each other. We've not played. We've had practices, and that's cool. But you know, I'm not going to play against Asia. I'm going to play with her. So it's just different. Yeah.
How was Big Blue Madness?
Big Blue Madness was so much fun. It was great energy, great environment. A lot of people turned out, and it was really cool to see a blue there cheering for you.
You ever seen that many people watching you before?
Yeah, I have, because I've played in the Final Four and we've had games against Iowa and Charlotte, so we've had big crowds before, but to have every single one of them on your side, that's different.
Right.
Coach Brooks was talking about how his daughters were approving of his jacket for Big Blue Madness. Did you approve of that as well? What did you think?
Yeah, I did a little FaceTime. I was in bed. I was about to sleep, and they were picking out their outfits because he was there with with Gabby, and Gabby was picking out an outfit too, and he was flexing the jacket, and I was like, yeah, that's tough. That's cold. You have to go with that.
What do you think of the intro? Just the walkout, the kind of the slow build.
You know what? That's just him. He just had the aura, the slow walk, just the calm, collected swag about him. Like that. That's what you see.